PFAS, or per- and polyfluoroalkyl substances, are a massive group of synthetic chemicals over 12,000 strong. Used since the 1940s, they're found in non-stick pans, waterproof jackets, firefighting foams, electronics, and even cosmetics. Their secret? A carbon-fluorine bond, one of the strongest in chemistry, making them incredibly resistant to breaking down. That's why they're called forever chemicals. Once released, they persist in soil, water, and living things for generations. PFAS travel far, contaminating everything from Arctic ice to deep oceans, and have even been detected in rainwater and household dust. Companies like 3M and DuPont built empires on PFAS, marketing them as safe and convenient, but internal documents later revealed manufacturers knew about health risks and environmental persistence for decades. Despite this, production soared, embedding PFAS into daily life worldwide. Today, every molecule ever made is likely still with us, accumulating in our environment and our bodies. The legacy of PFAS is a global contamination crisis, one that's nearly impossible to reverse. Their durability, once a selling point, is now a global environmental nightmare. The journey of PFAS from factory to our bodies is complex, but the result is simple. They're everywhere. Avoiding them is nearly impossible. They're in our water, food, air, and even the rain. The story of PFAS is a cautionary tale of innovation outpacing responsibility. We're only now reckoning with the consequences of decades of unchecked chemical use. The question isn't if you've been exposed, it's how much and what that means for our health and our planet. PFAS contamination is global. Nearly every American has detectable levels in their blood, and the same is true worldwide. These chemicals travel through air and water, reaching even the most remote communities. Major sources include industrial sites, airports, military bases, wastewater plants, and landfills. Everyday actions, like washing a waterproof jacket, release PFAS into the environment. Over 2,800 contamination sites have been identified in the U.S. alone, affecting water systems, military bases, and more. It's estimated that over 200 million Americans could be drinking water tainted with PFAS. For years, there was no requirement to test for PFAS, so the true scale is only now coming to light. PFAS are also in countless consumer products, fast food wrappers, carpets, cosmetics, even guitar strings. This constant low-level exposure adds up, creating a chemical burden we all carry. PFAS are a daily invisible threat, woven into the fabric of modern life. Avoiding them is nearly impossible. The legacy of PFAS is everywhere, whether we choose it or not. Wildlife faces the brunt of PFAS pollution. These chemicals build up in animals, especially top predators like polar bears and dolphins, threatening their survival. Fish in contaminated waters accumulate high PFAS levels, leading to "do not eat" advisories in many regions. PFAS exposure causes liver damage, reproductive issues, and population declines in fish and other species. The chemicals have reached even the most remote places, Antarctica, Pacific Islands, showing their global reach. The presence of PFAS in pristine environments is a stark warning. The silent poisoning of wildlife signals a systemic failure in chemical management. Our planet's biodiversity is at risk from a problem we created and can no longer ignore. PFAS exposure is linked to serious health problems: high cholesterol, thyroid disease, cancers, and pregnancy complications. Studies show PFAS can harm the immune system, reduce vaccine effectiveness, and cause developmental issues in children. Exposure starts before birth as PFAS cross the placenta, raising concerns for future generations. There's no known safe level for some PFAS. Even tiny amounts in drinking water are considered risky. The EPA's new health advisories are so strict, they're below what current technology can detect. The most affected are often low-income or minority communities near industrial sites or military bases. The fight for clean water and PFAS accountability is also a fight for environmental justice. The evidence is clear. PFAS are a public health threat. We all carry this chemical legacy, but some bear the burden more than others. The challenge is monumental, but urgent. Cleaning up PFAS contamination costs billions, far more than the profits made from producing them. The financial burden falls on the public, not the polluters. Fortunately, safer alternatives are emerging. PFAS-free cookware, textiles, and food packaging are now available. Over 2,000 PFAS-free products prove a transition is possible. The PFAS crisis is a warning about unchecked innovation and chemical pollution. Solving it means holding polluters accountable, phasing out PFAS, and investing in safer alternatives. We need a precautionary approach to chemicals acting before harm is widespread. The story of PFAS is a global challenge and a shared responsibility. Our future depends on learning from this chemical legacy and building a safer, cleaner world.